Here are 6 clever painting tricks everyone should know. While there are a lot of great brands and types of paints out there, these cans are $40 a piece right now. So be sure to head over to the returns or clearance section to see if you can find a deal. This can right here, for example, I don't know if you can see the price there, but this was $9. So that's about 77% off because somebody bought this and decided to return it. It's a full gallon of paint. It's just about the exact color we wanted in here anyways, especially if you're not really particular about a certain color in a room. Check out that clearance or return section and you can save yourself a ton of money. Before using a new roller cover, take just a moment to run it across some tape like this. This is 2-inch wide painter's tape, and just get anything off there that you don't want to have end up on the wall. You might be surprised at how much comes off, even on a brand new roller cover. When you need to do some painting by hand, painting out of the bucket can be really heavy, cumbersome, and increase the likelihood of something spilling. So I like to use one of these handy paint cans. These are really handy because you can just put a little bit of paint in them, just enough to do the work that you're doing at that time. They also come with this little magnet, which is perfect for holding your brush when you're carrying it around the room and helps keep everything in place. If you don't have one of these handy, you can even use a disposable food container or anything with a flat bottom on it that will allow you to carry it around the room. This is way easier than using the gallon paint can, and certainly easier than trying to paint with the brush out of the roller tray. A quick thank you to our awesome channel members right here who help support this channel. You can learn more about that by clicking the join button down below. When you're painting an area that has a wall adjacent to the one you're painting and that one's not going to be painted, and this also works for ceilings, for windowsills, things like that, then consider putting a nice wide section of tape, either a few pieces of the 1-inch or a couple of the 2-inch, so that your roller can roll right up against it. What this does is makes it so that you don't have to cut in with a brush or an edging tool, and that same texture that you're getting on the wall is what you're going to get right up to the very edge. Then, once you're done painting the room, without waiting too long, peel that off and you'll get a nice, perfectly straight line right there in the corner. Wow, now that is a masterpiece. Speaking of masterpieces, did you know that you can invest in famous artwork? It's true. You can, and it has better returns than the stock market. I want to tell you about Masterworks. Now this isn't crypto or NFTs. Masterworks offers real, physical paintings worth millions of dollars, painted by legends like Picasso and Banksy. Masterworks files each of their paintings with the SEC. That way, they can split the painting into shares for you to invest in. Then, when one sells, you get a slice of the potential profits. Just in the last month, Masterworks sold a painting for a 17.8% net return to their investors. That brings them to 5 exits this year alone, with the last 3 delivering 17, 21, and 33% net returns. Masterworks has done so well, there's actually a waiting list right now, but you can skip it using our special link in the description. And now, here's our next tip. When it comes to cleaning your roller covers, I'll be the first to confess that there have been many times when we just buy some and then chuck them after we're done because it's not worth the time to clean them. But if you buy nicer roller covers, or if you want to make them last for a long time, I've come up with a pretty cool way to do it. I took this old roller here, and what I did is I actually cut off the end of it, so there's just a little bit of a shaft sticking out one end, but the problem is it still spins and I need it to be stationary. In order to make it stationary, I took some small finish nails and then used a hammer to drive them in between the end of the roller holders and the middle axle. Once those were in there, that holds it on pretty tight, but just to make sure, I put a little bit of glue in there to hold it in place. With that glue in place and the nail, that means this no longer spins. Then I used a pair of pliers to try to bend that axle nice and straight, so I had enough of it to put inside a chuck for a drill. The end result is this, something I can pop into my drill chuck for my cordless drill, spin it as fast as I need to, and then spin using centrifugal force all of the paint off and all of the water off to end up with a perfectly clean roller cover. So here's our dirty roller cover that we want to clean off. You can just tap it against the back of this. Now we take our little invention here, slide it in, and then we can spin the excess paint off. Okay, once we've got that off, we'll take it over to our water bucket and then spin that, give it a good rinse. Back into this bucket to rinse it off again. After a water change, I can keep rinsing. And then when I take it out, nice and dry. So this just has a little bit of dampness to it, but I've gotten most of the water out from the inside, so now I can wrap this with a towel for just a second. That's all it's going to take to have it dried off. Now, if I want to use it for another color, I can do that right now, or I can just let this sit overnight and use it next time I need it. Before you begin your day of painting, take a can of Pringles like this, pop off that lid, get that satisfying pop. Snack on your Pringles all day, and then at the end of the day, clean out the inside of the can. Once our roller cover is nice and clean and a little bit dried off, we can pop it in here, put the lid on, and now it's not going to get any flat spots during storage.